listeners to our next edition of In the Hot Seat, a panel discussion focused on how technology is solving today's problems. These panel discussions are part of ScanSource's Discover Opportunity initiative, and I'm pleased to be speaking today with three industry experts from our suppliers who will help you, our partners, discover opportunities today in the government space. So let's start by meeting our panelists. John, I'll start with you.
And thank you, Kyle. Thanks for having me here. My name is John Newton. I'm with Avaya, and I'm the regional sales leader for the SLED vertical for Avaya for the Western United States.
All right. Thank you, John. Marcelo?
Hey, everybody. Great to be back. Great to see you again, Kyle. My name is Marcelo Munoz. I'm with Star Micronics. I'm channel partner executive here at Star, and I'm basically part of the connection between Star and ScanSource with distributor relations. So working with the sales team, business development, inventory management. We're all smirking here. So yeah, that's one of my many functions here at Star.
Yep. Thank you for joining us again. And Dave.
Awesome. Hey guys, thanks. I'm Dave Jones. I'm the DoD and VA account manager at Honeywell, the productivity solutions side of business, data collection type of activities. Happy to be here, proud to serve.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. So as I mentioned in the opener, this is one of a series that we're doing focused on the government space. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about or focus the conversation a little bit on demands of the citizen, public sector, et cetera. But we know that the digital transformation all of us experience as employees of corporation, government agencies, government entities, not immune from that. So there's a lot of IT and technology being invested in right now in that space as well. And so our goal here with these panels is for partners to be able to identify opportunities. And also we're helping partners who don't normally sell into this space. And so we hope you guys get something out of this to help you discover opportunities in the government space. And I hope we can bridge the gap for you, lower the barriers to entry, selling into what sometimes can be a very complex or long sales cycle. So let's start kind of round robin open discussion here. John, I'll start with you just to tee it off, but where are you seeing dollars being spent right now in the government spaces, public sector, et cetera, on technology? And then just a part B to the question for everybody, what kinds of problems are we actually trying to solve with that technology?
Really good. The obvious choice is cybersecurity. Everybody is throwing dollars at cybersecurity, but outside of that arena, we really see the drive for government to reach out to its citizens and start engaging them in a more proactive manner. So through citizen engagement, with digital deflection, allowing more self-help opportunities that are actually rolling the customers into their own self-help databases where they can find information that normally they would have to stay online with an agent or wait for an agent to answer that question. But the governments are putting a lot of money into that, and they're actually seeing a very good return on that investment. And honestly, they can be self-funding investments. Additionally, with that, with the rollout of the Ray-Baum Act and Carey's Law, which are very specific to 911, there's a lot of money into the new NG 911 products that are driving compliance rules. So every government customer out there is required to adhere to these acts. So there's some definite drivers towards NG 911 and really incident location, if you will. That's the Ray-Baum Act side of things. So we're really seeing a drive into those two key areas: citizen engagement and NG 911.
Marcelo, how about you?
Yeah, so what we're hearing a lot more buzz is about health and safety. Health and safety care in general, protection, whether it's a kiosk with some type of temperature check or other types of solutions where, you know, you give peace of mind to those people that are going into government buildings, government facilities, and government facilities also include schools, right? So any type of school environment where you're trying to keep everybody from sharing germs, very, very important. Um, you know, as we all know, you know, elections is a big, huge topic these days. And, you know, we definitely see that, you know, in voting stations, the technology there has to be precise. There has to be a paper trail. There has to be some type of control in those types of environments. So um, we've also seen some great growth from that aspect as well in different states. So obviously not on the federal level, but definitely from state to state, you have different initiatives going on to improve those areas of business.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Dave?
Yeah, I can resonate with all that resonates with all of us. I think one of the things that's absolutely just completely taken my time up is this American Rescue Plan, the ARP that just came out over this past 6 months. The VA is, you know, with $17 billion flowing into that organization, there's just a tremendous amount of IT investment that's happening, preparing for their next rollout of their electronic health record with Cerner. Um, all that is riding on new technology, whether it's our type of stuff, what STAR is bringing, just in all kinds of places. That's a lot of the investment. The other big investment I'm seeing, there's a lot of effort going on in the 5G world. You guys may have talked about it on your previous webinars, but you know, there's a good program going on right now, testing it at many different depots. The idea of warehouse modernization, and you know, what can we do with 5G in the DoD in terms of IoT devices on the edge? How much of the new technology is affected by bandwidth or latency, and how can 5G answer that? That's been a large influx of money. The other thing I would mention though is efficiencies. You know, our kind of products, data collection in general, it seems to be always competing against mission requirements. You know, we're always up against how can this really improve a warehouse and their availability to be able to drive mission effectiveness and availability of the assets in general. So anything that's going on is always competing against other investments in being able to overhaul tanks, for instance. If I can come up with a maintenance and inspection app to help them inspect that quicker and condense the pipeline needed of those end items through technology, that's an area ripe for investment. So many areas are affecting our business.
Yeah. I like to give out gold stars. It's a thing that I do when I'm moderating panels. Marcelo knows. Dave, you earned a whole sheet full of gold stars there, because you're not only creating continuity for me between panels in this series, but also in our other series. We did this for healthcare. We've done this for essentially IoT, smart cities elements.
Oh wow.
Technology rollout. So thank you for bringing some wide range continuity there for me.
Got lucky.
Let me talk a little bit about, or hear from you guys a little bit about the sales cycles and spending. I kind of said in the green room earlier that we talked yesterday on a panel about digital transformation. It's another one of the series that our partners can view here. And what I heard yesterday was that the dollars to spend, the funding that was, let's call it emergency spending, that's kind of drying up, that those sales cycles are kind of drying up. And now they're starting to see the 6 to 12 month RFPs and the normal bids version of sales cycles happen. But Dave, you just specifically mentioned there's a bunch of money dog-eared for some projects with the VA. So how do you three see the sales cycle, the life of a government spend sales cycle right now? Is there still immediate opportunities that we can capitalize on, or are we really looking at these long-term sales?
Like I can answer from the VA perspective, the recent contract that's being used to push more hardware out to help Cerner started a year and a half ago, and it got awarded 3 months ago. I mean, things are still taking forever.
Yeah.
The money's not going to go away, but it's in my perspective, it's just, is it something needed immediately for for our PPE business within Honeywell was operating like that. Is 2 weeks from now I got a $1 billion deal. I'm not seeing that anymore on my side. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, John, how about from the sled side?
Yeah, things are kind of rolling back to normal. We're definitely seeing a slower rollout of projects, but what was a real advantage was they were able to start a number of initiatives that now they can build upon with that immediate money that they got from the American Relief Act, or even the COVID one that started. So they were able to start projects that start migrating them towards those real drivers that they have now for the citizen. So we're seeing it continue. It's certainly not an instant purchase by any means, but we're kind of back to that 6-month, 9-month RFP period. So.
Yep. Marcelo, we talked a little bit about me teeing this up for you, but I know STAR is very focused right now on the cannabis industry, which to me is a new use case of the technology, but it might have the most immediate opportunities. These may become transactional run rate sales with whatever businesses or organizations that are getting into the industry. So can you talk a little bit about what that opportunity looks like?
Sure. Simply put, it's a $92 billion opportunity, right? That's what is kind of forecast for 2021 in that industry. STAR has played a crucial role in as far as getting dispensaries up and running. And, the tendency obviously is, how is the balancing act between state and federal government. Federal government turning a blind eye, states, I think there's only 6 states left that don't have any type of medicinal or recreational cannabis legality. So what do we do? What's the best way to kind of keep the technology flowing, but at the same time, keeping everybody happy from a lawmaking perspective is a paper trail.
Wow.
So, receipts is a must. Paperwork is a must.
Yeah. And I want to touch on the regulation part of that, right? So, I mean, the payment transaction part itself, that's not new. The regulations we have to adhere to, the paper trail, as you referenced, kind of all fit into this compliance bucket, right? And so, Dave, selling into the VA, your customer base, there's compliance and regulations that partners have to make sure they adhere to. John, same with you on the sled side. So, like, real quick, are there resources that are available to partners that aren't comfortable selling into regulated industries, or ones that have high compliance requirements that they can use, that partners can use?
There's definitely ways for that to happen, right? So it's all about creating those databases, getting that technology in there to take that next step, right? As I mentioned, I don't think it's that taboo anymore. There's possibilities there. So really, it's up to the customer to find how they want to participate. What part of the technology do they want to get involved? These dispensaries that were small mom and pop shops 5 years ago are now part of large groups. And even those guys are getting, absorbed into larger groups. So it's going to be corporate. They're going to be on that same enterprise level as any other business. It's just a matter of getting there and finding those customers now and presenting what you have to offer to them, whether it's the receipt printer, whether it's, data collector, some type of phone system for their corporate offices that are huge.
All right.
I have one here in Miami, BioTrack THC. They're in a building here in Fort Lauderdale that's gorgeous. And you walk in there, you think you're in some type of Google environment. So it's definitely evolved in the last 5 years, from where it was before to kind of like a party joke to a real business opportunity.
I
Yeah,
think that's
Dave.
interesting because I look at getting in that industry just kind of like I do with resellers wanting to getting into government sales in general. I mean, there's got to be a lot of regulations. There's a lot of standards, and we've got people on the standards boards of Kennebuy, and the proof of provenance, using the right technology to be able to track and trace this stuff. I mean, it is a supply chain. It is a commodity, but it's a little bit different. So yeah,
Yep.
there's definitely, you can't go in with a blind eye. You gotta go in knowing your the product and the requirements and the standards that you have to apply to, or you could end up just like you are with government. You could be selling products that they can't use, won't use, or that expose you to potential risks.
That's right. Yeah, I think that last point's the key one, right? You get to make sure you're educated on what
Right.
your risk is. Talking to
It's kind of
customers.
it's
Not
kind
a
of like a
billboard
hybrid.
activity.
Yeah, I look at it as kind of like a hybrid industry where you have elements of, tobacco and alcohol with a pharmaceutical perspective of the product as well. So it's kind of, so do you regulate it like one or the other or a mix of both? That it's interesting, definitely.
John, we need to close out here in just a minute. I want to come back to you to talk a little bit about a topic we probably don't have time to do more than scratch the surface on, but as part of your citizen engagement, you and Dave both mentioned cybersecurity. I'd love to get your thoughts on where there's opportunity for partners to enter this space, maybe with their own cybersecurity practice, maybe partnering, however they need to address the needs. That is topical across all industries. So I'd love to get some sound bites from you guys on where you see partners able to play there.
Well, cybersecurity is an interesting arena. And as you talk about regulations, that's probably one of the highest regulated areas, even within the state level. There's a new drive as the industry as a whole kind of moves in towards a cloud-based environment. As Dave mentioned, IoT, being able to finding ways to pull up and track everything that's in the federal space. The SLED's the same way. There's a push in the cloud towards state ramp, which FedRAMP was is a current regulation for cloud. If you're looking at getting into this cybersecurity arena, make sure you understand those federal or state requirements. Good place to start is NIST. They have a list of requirements. Understand your practice. And from a cybersecurity standpoint, what I've experienced is most companies fill a niche. Cybersecurity is a huge arena. Understand what you do and play well to that niche, understand the regulations, and there is absolutely no reason that you cannot drive into that cybersecurity space in either a state or federal environment.
Yep, love it. Dave, any thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a whole different viewpoint on it. I mean, obviously, all that is kind of paramount, number one, right? I'm on the other end of the spear when our products get introduced into the network environments. They're Android-based products, and there's just, you can find 100 of them just with a quick Google search. But to put something on a government network that can pass all muster of the cyber and IT staffs, you have to bring devices that are accredited and have the DISA NIST stamp of approval and common criteria certification, FIPS 140 and STIGs and all that. And that's something that as a reseller, you have to really watch out for. Sometimes your customer might not even want radio capability. They may be working in a secure area where they can't take pictures, though they don't want that on their devices. So you just can't go into it blindly. And if you're not sure, reach out to the ScanSource team. I know they're all well equipped to help advise you on the right kind of product lines, and certainly we can help you as well.
Yeah, thanks for handling the plug for me, so I don't have to do it at the end. Listen, we'll wrap things up. I appreciate John, Marcelo, Dave, your time today on this panel. Like I've said, I think twice now, it is a series So partners, there are 3 of these, all focused on the government space. So we have the digital transformation as well as an always-on collaboration session for you to consume. In closing, I will say, as you are uncovering opportunities, hopefully the information that you got today not only helps you discover them, but also address them. There's a lot more content that ScanSource has created with the help of our supplier partners, which you can find at www.scansource.com/government. And if you visit www.scansource.com/discover-opportunity, you can access all the other panel discussions in the other industries that we've talked about. So with that, I will wrap things up. Thank you, panelists, one more time. It was a great event.
Thank you,
Yeah,
everybody.
thank
for-
you.